Hey everybody, it's Wednesday night and it's time for Super Geeked Up!
Woo!
All right, what's up everybody? Thank you for joining us. This is our post-Dragon Con episode. We had an awesome time there. We're going to talk a little bit more about it. If you're just joining us, this is your live weekly geeky chat and improv show. We talk some zany, geeky topics and play some fun geek-themed improv games. I have some awesome people with me. Joining me tonight, we have, once again, guest co-host Francis Fernandez from the Points of Interest Podcast Network. Hello, sir.
Hello. Thanks again for having me.
Of course. Special guest tonight. He actually joined me for Super Geeked Up Live at Dragon Con, which was a blast, from Hero Movie Podcast and Preacher Podcast, Adam Portrais.
Ahoy, hoy, everyone.
Oh, thank you. That's quite an intro. And from the web series Abigail and Bethany, Martin Smith.
Hello, hello, hello.
Welcome back. Welcome back, show. It's been a while since we've been on.
A little bit of time.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for being here, guys. So, folks, we got a bunch of geeky questions we're going to talk about. We got some fun games we're going to play in a minute. We're going to do a little Dragon Con recap later on for those of you who weren't there. Actually, everybody, all of us except Francis was there because we're really cool and Francis is not.
Tis.
Yeah. All right. So, but first, Francis, as you know, we like to start with the geek tweet of the week. What is that?
That's right. And our first geek tweet of the week is this question right here. If you had the Force, would you be a Jedi or would you be a Sith? And what would you do with your amazing Force powers?
Let's start with Adam because I'm a little afraid of what he's going to say. So, but let's go for it.
Here's my problem. Here's my problem with becoming. Oh, here we go. This board, I tell you. So my big problem is this: is that I know that I am going to be the guy who will go the opposite of whatever he picks. If I pick Sith, I'll eventually become good. If I'm start good, I'll go Sith, but I'll go back to good. I'm always going to be a switcher. I'm going to be a switcher every single time. But my guess is I would start out going, yeah, I'm going to be good. And then I'd swing over into the dark a little bit. I'd mess around in the dark going, this is what I really want to do. But eventually I would turn. Honestly, I'd be Darth Vader. I would start out good. I would go bad. Then I would end up good again. I think that would really be where I would go. And mostly it would just be to annoy other people and make them do what I want. And of course, choke the hell out of people. Who doesn't want to do that?
Is it because they have cookies?
They only have cookies, right?
I have that shirt. Come to the dark side. We have cookies. I have that shirt, actually. I love it. We have some people chiming in the live chat, folks. So there's a live chat going on here. We love to hear from you. Obviously, when we do the show like a place like Dragon Con, the audience is a huge part of it. By the way, special shout out. If anybody's watching from Dragon Con, thank you guys so much. You guys were like one of the most amazing crowd we probably ever had.
What a crowd.
That crowd was like, oh man, they were like crazy and they were super rowdy and they were perfect for what we do on our show.
I mean, it is a 24/7 party for the now 5 days that Dragon Con is.
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about that. That's like how it's really different than other cons I've been to. Like, it does not stop ever.
No.
Anyway, Tammy and Anderson in the chat says she would be a Jedi that walks very close to the dark side. And Victor says he would be a gray Jedi.
Like an alien?
Yeah.
Just walking around with the big black eyes. I get it. I did.
Exactly what he would be. So share there in the chat, folks, or you can tweet us at Super Geeked Up if you want. Oh, Carlos Bathory just tweeted us. I see. He says Sith, period. All right, no doubt for him there. Sith all the way. All right, Martin, what would you choose?
I would be Jedi all the way. And the reason I know this is out of all the Knights of the Old Republic and any Jedi game or Star Wars game that you could play where you walk the fine line of the Force, I can't go bad at all. It's crazy. And I will try. And I'm like, no, let me restart and go back and do it good. It's like going to the grocery market and say, I just ate 3 grapes. Can I pay you 9 cents for it? It's that type of level of worriness for some reason.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, you know what, dude?
You didn't see me eat any grapes.
Even though I know I would have that power, I just couldn't do it.
So you know what? First off, we got some other people in the chat. Acrodius, Chris Hadley are joining us. Craig Johnson says, being a Jedi is an incredibly unrealistic goal. Probably yes, but we still all want to be it. You know what? I'm
That's
with
what
you,
I
man.
strive to be.
Martin, you and me, maybe we're the only ones that like. I'm totally with you like that. Like any of those games like that or Mass Effect, I go like so good all the way. All my choices, I just can't not.
But
So I'm with you.
It's not that I can even go back and do it bad. Then it's like once I do it good, it's like game over. There's no. I've got it done the way I wanted to get done. I don't care about the bad. It's not. That's not what I'm going to be at all. I can't.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
enjoy
I'm
both
totally
sides.
that way. I'm totally that way too. And Listener's Mate says, "Wow, 9 cents for grapes. Did we just go to Mayberry? Apparently, so
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Granted, it was for 3 grapes. I mean,
Yeah, it was only 3. It's not like a whole bag of grapes. So I would definitely go Jedi. But you know what? When I think about the powers, I want to do things like convince all these celebrities like be in my films and on the show, like Kate Beckinsale and all the stars of The Flash. So that's not really a good Jedi thing to be doing.
Frances McDormand, you want
That's
to
fine.
be on my show? What?
Frances McDormand. What? Oh, she's awesome. That's the first person that comes to mind.
It
Sure.
seems like a weird choice, but okay. I mean, it's your force powers.
Sure.
You do what you want to do.
Well, Francis,
sure.
what about you?
Sith all the way. The world needs conquering. I would totally conquer the world. I believe that, most people say, I'd do the good stuff. I'd be a good guy. I would walk the light. I can't. I don't know. I think I'd really want to use all of my force powers and just rule the world. That just makes sense to me. Like you have all of this ultimate power. Might as well use it.
I did not expect
I'm not going to
that.
save kittens. Why save the kitten from the tree when you can
Force
Yeah,
choke
rule
the
the galaxy.
kitten down.
Oh, God.
My kitty's up in that tree. Hold on.
Did you mean to force choke the branch or the kitten? I'll let you decide.
both. There you go.
All right, so we got, I guess, 2 Jedi, 1 Sith, and 1, I don't know what, going back and forth, I guess, right? Adam?
I'm Jedi Sith fluid.
One Vader. One Vader.
Jedi Sith fluid. Is that what happens when they have sex together?
Sometimes
that doesn't.
you don't want that bluster going on.
All right, Maria Duran, our good friend there, just joined us as well. Thank you, everybody, for joining in the chat and watching live. We got some more chatting stuff we're going to do. We're going to play some games later, including Tangent Tales, where we're going to make up a geeky story right on the spot. That always goes, I don't know, very badly, actually, but it's usually fun. But first, we're going to play a game called Superhero Sound Effects. We actually did this at Dragon Con. It's one of my personal favorite games. We had a lot of fun doing it. First, let me get some, because we're going to need your help in the chat. So let me set this up for you guys so you can start giving some suggestions there. So we need suggestions for superhero names, but ridiculous made-up superhero names, all right? So the kind of crazier the better. And then we need an idea for a crisis. But first, start with, give us in the chat some crazy superhero names or on Twitter that we could play. At Dragon Con. Hey, Adam, who did you play at Dragon Con in this game?
Spaghetti Fingers Man.
Right.
I think that's what the name of it was.
Yeah, Spaghetti. It was actually Spaghetti from Fingers Man. Which
Oh, that's right.
which,
Very specific.
I guess, right. You just spaghetti shot from your fingers, basically, right?
Right.
Yeah, the hit at every Italian restaurant right there.
Maria Duran, she says she was watching Dragon Con live stream because she said she's calling me Flannel Man. I was Captain Flannel at Dragon Con, which is an amazing.
Not the Mr. Come on, he didn't work all that time in his military career to be called Mr. Flannel. It's Captain Flannel. Get it right.
That's right. Which he had amazing powers. And then Mikey Mason, our other guest, was Captain Girth.
Yeah,
You can imagine. Girth. Down. All right, never mind.
Don't want him.
Yeah, you really don't.
Thanks for pointing.
Yes, in case you weren't sure. Crisis we had to solve at Dragon Con was there was a world shortage of ketchup. That's what our crisis was.
Boy, did we get to the bottom of that caper.
Yeah, it was like the worst. We were like the worst heroes ever.
got in the pasta mobile.
The pasta
This is
mobile, yes,
good.
that was good. That was fun. Anyway, if you go to the Dragon Con podcast Facebook page, the live stream is still up there. And we're also going to be putting it up on when they send us the video, we're going to put it up on our channel as well. So you can watch that if you didn't get a chance to see it. It was a lot of fun. Anyway, we got some suggestions in the chat. By the way, folks, let's figure out who's doing what. So 2 of us are going to play these superheroes. The other 2 will do the sound effects. Adam, I think you should totally play one of the superheroes because you did such an awesome job at Dragon Con. Now, Francis actually did an awesome job sound effects when we did this about a month ago on this show.
I will do that again.
Yes, okay, now, Martin, would you like to play? I can do either one. Would you like
I can do either or. I'm game either way.
All right. How about you want to do some sound effects?
Sure.
And I'll play the other character.
Yeah.
Okay. So, hey, so Krista Zombie joined us on Twitter. She said, "True story, you were the worst superheroes." So I'm pretty sure Krista was at our show. She actually, I don't know, Krista, tell me if you were one of the volunteers. But thank you for confirming how bad we were.
You gotta be bad to be good. Does that make sense?
Exactly. Thank you for watching, though, Krista. I really appreciate you tuning in. And anybody, all the volunteers, by the way, who came up and played the game with us, you guys rocked. Actually, the people who do the sound effects, usually the sound effects are so bad, that's what makes it funny, but they were fucking good. Like, they were actually really good at the sound effects.
Yeah.
We had to actually be funny, like, on our own. Holy shit. All right. Here we go. I'm looking at the suggestions now. Let me share some of these suggestions, and you guys can decide which ones you think are the best. So we have from Carrie Johnson, pelvic thrust man. We have from Victor Snyder, the mighty static electricity man. Oh, that was kind of my Captain Flannel. I actually used that. Maybe he's referencing that. Blair Beveridge says Czar mouse farts. What? It's terrible.
Suggestions.
Yes. Tammy Anderson says Madam Hot Flash.
I like that one.
Decrodia says super giant tiny guy. Oh, that's an interesting conundrum. Victor says bowling ball chick. Krista says she was a sound effects person and did the clicks for the seatbelts. Thank you, Krista. We were not putting on our seatbelts. Thank you for your safety lesson there.
It's important.
Didn't have a problem with us drinking before we got into the car, but the seatbelts were fine. That's important.
Carrie also says the flasher as a suggestion. All right. So any Adam, any ones you really like there out of those?
I like the hot flashes lady.
Madam Hot Flash. All right. So Adam, you could be Madam Hot Flash. By the way, Maria says she loves your Foley work, Francis, from our last show.
Oh, good.
She also says it was an awesome show at Dragon Con. Thank you, Maria, very much. Okay. We got Captain Stethoscope from Chris Hadley. A lot of people like captains. They like captains for names.
No one wants to go like private or anything of that nature. That guy doesn't get the.
Okay. You know what? I kind of want to be bowling ball chick. It just sounds ridiculous.
Two heroines.
That's
played by geeky dudes. All right, good.
So who's doing the sound effects for who?
You know what? I almost kind of want to just let you guys do it for either of us at your because that's kind of what happened last time, Francis. I feel you and Christina just did whatever you wanted, right?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's hard to keep track sometimes, so that's perfectly fine by me.
I mean, how about this? I'll say Francis for me and Martin for Adam, but feel free to jump in whenever you want, to be honest with you. That's kind of more fun that way.
Sure.
Sounds good.
All right, we need a crisis, folks. What crisis could Madam Hot Flash and Bowling Ball Chick have to solve? I already got one thing that said from Chris, a shortage of rubber bands. It's always a shortage of something. It seems like some weird item.
No one just goes, boy, we have a plethora of X.
We have too many grapes, folks.
I've got to pay for them. They're 3 cents each, apparently.
Right. All right. So let's see here, folks. What else? Anything else for a crisis? What could we have to solve here? People are just giving us more names. That's what they're doing in the chat. They love coming up with these names. It's like their favorite thing to do. Let's see here. What else do we have here? No, nothing. Oh, all right. Because you guys give me some idea for a crisis then. What can we have?
Okay.
Anything.
Tsunami Preparation H.
A tsunami of preparation H?
Yes.
That's what you just said.
Yeah. That's a fairly big crisis.
He said it just like, yeah, of course that's what I said. What did you think I meant? Because it happens all the time. You've seen the nightly news.
Okay. Oh, all right. So now I think there's a bit of a delay on the live stream. Now we're getting suggestions. So
apparently mine not good enough.
Ryan Lanier says Attack of the Clowns. Then he says, no, wait, a Clownado.
Oh my gosh.
Krista takes a cue from you, Adam, and says a plethora of Head and Shoulders, like the shampoo, I guess.
That's a little bit better than
Preparation H.
Yeah, because Preparation H just is going to like come in too slow. At least Head and Shoulders is more fluid, so that's going to drown you more. Like I think Preparation H, you'd see it just be able to kind of shimmy your way up it real fast.
There's Tammy says the profound menace of the cheese spilled on the highway. And then Krista also says magnets that work on everything.
Is that really a problem, though? Is that really a problem?
That actually, I could see that being a problem. That could be funny.
For Compass Man, I get that, but for normal people?
But no, it's like magnets are sticking to everything, right? I think that's what she's saying.
Oh, okay, I can get that then.
You know, I kind of almost want to combine a couple of these.
Or everything is a magnet.
Oh,
right. I think that's
everything is a magnet. That could be fun. You want to do that?
I feel like that would be work really well in person.
That would have been
dangerous,
awesome in person.
Dangerous
man.
In person, but
oh shit, we totally could have got the crowd involved. That would be great. We're gonna think of that. Krista, suggest that next year at Dragon Con. Just pretend.
Seems like your right hand is going someplace. Oh no.
Oh god. All right, maybe I'm glad we didn't do it in person. Okay, let's do that. How about that? So wait, what are we saying? Everything is a magnet? Is that what we're saying? Adam, what did you say again? How did you twist
everything's magnets.
Everything's magnets. Okay.
So that's what we're going with?
Everywhere.
Yes.
Dun,
okay.
Dun.
So we have I'm always forgetting who the fuck we are.
Madam Hot Flash, I know that one.
Thank you. Madam Hot Flash. I'm Bowling Ball Chick. And the crisis is everything is a magnet. All right. And we got Francis and Martin doing the sound effects for us. Oh, they're either warming up or they're doing something else. Krista, by the way, says, I never remember shit. That's your job to remind me. Okay, I will remind you next year at Dragon Con to say that.
Set your calendars a year in advance.
Okay, here we go. Let's kick it off. Madam Hot Flash, thank God you're here. We have a huge crisis.
Whew, you're telling me.
Are you okay? What's happening over there?
Hey, my name is Madam Hot Flash. What do you want from me? Having a hot flash kind of happens, what's it called, all the time.
What is that weird warping sound? Is your hot flash like changing the time space continuum?
Been known to do that. I mean, what of it?
Okay, look, before I tell you about the crisis, let me just bowl. Let's really go to our bowling alley we have built in our lair right here. And I'm going to throw my bowling ball down the alley. Here we go.
Again with the bowling ball this one.
Oh my God, it actually obliterated all the bowling pins. It just knocked them down. It went to a million pieces. That was awesome. That's why they call me Bowling Ball Chick.
Yeah,
Turkey for Bowling Ball Chick.
Wait, what was that? Who's paging?
Turkey for Bowling Ball Chick.
Oh, thank goodness. We put in that automated scorekeeper. Excellent.
Yeah, you insisted on putting it there.
Oh, actually, no, wait. I'm sorry. It was wrong. There's actually a bunch of turkeys in the lair. Apparently these turkeys are giving people blowjobs or something. I don't understand what's happening.
You know how they say a turkey, if it looks up at the sky, it will, drown itself by rain? Same thing goes with blowjobs at a weird part. I don't know. I mean, listen, we face a lot of these horrible, horrible men in our line of work, and that's what most supervillains are. Their supervillains are horrible men, and that's what we go after. Just have turkeys that'll give them blowjobs, and then they just, fall off. It's kind of ingenious. Really. God, is it hot in here or is it me? What the hell?
All right, listen. Enough with your hot flashes. We have a problem. Everything is a magnet. In fact, these turkeys, oh my God, these turkeys are sticky to us right now. Oh God. Oh, it hit me right in the head. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh, I had 15 turkeys. I didn't notice. I'm sweating up a storm over here. It's not like it's not making things any better, but it's not making things any worse either. I'll be honest, it's kind of a, the breeze from the feathers is kind of nice.
All right, look, listen, how are we going to solve this magnet problem? We're sticking to everything.
The same old-fashioned way you solve everything. Disco dance.
All right, let's go. Let's turn on the disco music. This is the worst you ever could have played. What is this?
I'm sorry, we could only afford the karaoke version. There are a lot of rights issues that we can't screw around with here. You'll get kicked off. So, shut up and deal with the music version. This is all we can afford it here. You had to put a whole damn bowling alley in this place. Give it a rest.
All right, listen. I'm ejecting
the
the CD, and I'm just gonna take my bowling ball and smash the CD. It's so bad. Here we go. Wow, this bowling ball really just obliterates everything I touch with it. It's amazing.
Yeah, killed that coffee table too at the same time. Who'd have figured? Seriously though, you got to watch out with that thing. We can only go through so much furniture in a month. Our budget is small as it is, and you're just kind of really ripping stuff up. Excuse me.
I'm sorry. I don't know my own strength. Listen, let's jump in the teleporter and go to where the villains are causing this problem. Oh my God! That was actually really effective. That was really good. Okay, here we are. Where are we now?
Listen, why would you bring us to a Kmart? They don't even make these anymore.
Oh, obviously, this is where our arch nemesis have put their base because it's a closed down Kmart.
Clean up on aisle 8.
Oh wow, these are really nice villains, though. They're making sure the store is good and clean. That's excellent. That's very nice of them.
Hey, they may be horrible villains, but they're at least fastidious with their cleaning duties, and that much we have to, not all villains are bad.
Please make sure turkeys are in the freezer.
Well, luckily these turkeys are still stuck to us. They came in the teleporter.
Look, there's only 5 or 6 of them here. We got to be able to just hold on. Got to punch this one in the face. Don't you forget it.
Well, let's put these turkeys in the freezer. Here, let's open this huge freezer door. Okay, I'm sorry, I was wrong. We just opened a crypt instead. Okay.
Damn mummies. Every single time with the mummies.
Oh God, there's a mummy coming at us. It must be behind the magnet.
It's hell in here. What? I mean, I know it's a crypt and all, but Jesus. Wow.
All right, listen. I'm going to tie part of the mummy to my bowling ball and then throw it. Hopefully it'll unwrap the mummy. Ready?
Oh, okay, hold on. Wait.
All right, here we go. Right. And throw.
The hell of a distance on that mother.
All right, it worked. The mummy is now just a decrepit old man.
What did you think he was alone?
Listen, Flash. I think just have sex with him, and I think they'll solve the problem.
Will do. No babies here, everybody. Bye.
All right, I think we'll end it there before we get any further with those sound effects.
He said, right. I thought the old man said get off his lawn, not to get on him. But okay,
get on that lawn, everybody.
All right. In the chat, Chris Ellie says a crypt in the frozen food sections, and then Carrie John says that's where they keep all the dead meat. Good, yeah, very nice.
Yeah, sure.
And Chris says it was like a world record on that bowling ball throw that we just did. I think so too. Yes.
I think it's still going.
Kind of cheap though. It's only a 10-pounder, so don't be as impressed as you might think, kid.
Krista had said in the middle of that we should have flown away with the power of turkey wings. That would have been cool, actually, since they're all stuck to us.
On the wings of turkey.
Wow.
So close to our nation's bird. So close.
And Necrotes and
That much.
Krista was saying it was like the bowler from Mystery Men. Oh, nice reference, guys.
Garofalo.
Oh, she says Hero Movie Podcast covered it a few months ago. You should check it out. Is that true?
We did indeed. We covered Mystery Men, and here's the thing, man. A lot of us have a lot of fond memories about Mystery Men. If you remember liking that movie, don't watch it again. It doesn't hold up. It really does. I loved it when it first came out. I was like, oh, this is so great. And you got to remember, we were on the tail of Batman and Robin at that point, so we were happy to get anything that didn't completely suck. And so, but when you go back, it's just like, oh, this is not as good as I remember it. Man.
But it has Smash Mouth. Smash Mouth did one of the songs.
The music?
They did about 1.5 songs in there.
Are you trying to tell us like it's even worse than we thought by saying that?
Yeah, or it makes it better. Come for the Dane Cook cameo. Stay for the Smash Mouth.
Chris, in the live chat, Krista would like to know how many turkeys got pardoned.
None were pardoned. None survived.
Yeah, they're all dead.
You didn't say that it took place the week of Thanksgiving.
Oh, there you go.
That's true.
This happened in February where they were thriving and thinking, hey, man, I got my whole life ahead of me. Wrong, turkeys.
Krista also says this. I think this may be in response to how you think Mystery Men is not good anymore. I'm not sure what it's in response to, but she says, shut your mouth, Portrais. I have a certain set of skills. She tells you, oh, she's out for blood now.
Hey,
I think she's gonna go watch. I think she's gonna go rewatch Mystery Men tonight.
Yeah. She's a big fan of Mystery Men. Cool. All right, so let's. By the way, guys, that was probably like the best teleporter sound I've ever heard. Nice the other one's not so great, but that was great.
All right.
All right, let's have our guest share. We actually were just talking about Hero Movie Podcast. So Adam, why don't you, before we do our other games and geeky chat, why don't you tell people about that and Preacher Podcast and where they can find you and what you do?
Well, Preacher Podcast, we only have one more episode airing this year. So get on that if you can. If you enjoy Preacher on AMC, we are the top-rated Preacher podcast by a very, very long shot. AMC named us the #1 Preacher fan podcast out there. So if you dig that show, please give us a listen, preacherpodcast.com. We have a lot of fun with that, and we do a completely separate show called The Word of Garth Edition, where we relate it back to the comic book and everything. So we have one that specifically talks about the TV show, and another one that goes into crackpot theories. We also, read emails from our listeners and things of that nature, and do that. So that's pretty awesome. And of course, Hero Movie Podcast, where we review superhero movies or television shows from time to time, every single week. Everything from the newest of the new stuff to I think the oldest thing that we did was a Captain Marvel serial from like 1941 or some such nonsense. So we do the whole entire gamut with that. The Film Find at thefilmfind.com. We review new release movies there mostly every week. We had an internet problem this last week, so we'll be doing 2 shows this week. Yay, more work. And on Saturday evenings on at Twitch, easy way to just do that is nerdtalknow.com. I do a live show where I talk about nerd news and things, stuff most people here would like to enjoy. And of course, we have call-ins and stuff where you can kind of Skype in and all that kind of good jazz. So check that out at Nerd Talk Now. But I'm never not doing something, it seems.
All right. So in the chat, Carrie Johnson says, Preacher this season has been fantastic. I'll check the podcast for sure.
You love it.
Krista says, you guys were so good with your podcast. AMC gave up their own podcast because there was no
point. They quit. They actually, it was funny because our show was way before their show was, and they emailed us going, "Hey man, could you pimp our show on your show?" And we're like, wow. We were like, "Yeah, man, sure, we can do that." And of course, once the first season ended, they were like, "We're not very good at this. We're just gonna stop." So they didn't do a season 2 for their show, man. So we're top dogs on that one. And we just beat out Maria Menounos' people. I told you, Maria, I'd be coming for you. She's like my nemesis. I can't say that too much now because I guess she had cancer or something, so you can't really talk shit about a lady who's got cancer. But I'm still gonna do it. Maria Menounos, I'm coming after you.
Wow.
With love, with love, you guys. Come on, love. With
the
love.
best kind. The
You're
best
sunny
kind.
lady.
Yeah.
Also in the chat, I had told Krista that she should kick your ass, and she says it wouldn't be the first time.
This is true.
All right. All right, folks. So check out Hero Movie Podcast, Preacher Podcast. Those links will be in the description section. We'll give them again at the end. But Martin, why don't you tell people what you're up to?
Yeah, we still have Abigail the series. It's still just one season. Maybe more is coming. Maybe not. It's all up in the air. The latest thing I've worked on was Bethany, though. A great comedy series, web series that you can find on Carol Kaboya's YouTube page about two roommates who have really the zaniest encounters. And it's almost like the Odd Couple. Yeah, that's the name of the play, isn't it?
Yeah, a couple.
Yeah,
you got it.
Yeah. It's very similar to the Odd Couple. Yeah, but yeah, very good, very funny. All friends from University of Georgia decided to pitch in and do work and help them out. I've got a few cameos in there, and I also helped run all the audio on it. So,
but are there magnetic turkeys in it?
You know what? There might not have been magnetic turkeys, but it could be in season 4.
Nice.
And that's not a far stretch for the adventures they get into.
Sweet. Listeners mate in the chat wants to know, Adam, has Hero Movie Podcast done a show about Howard the Duck?
Yes, we have. We did do Howard the Duck. I don't remember what episode it is, but I'll dig it out for you.
Oh, dude, he's going to be your biggest fan now. He's always talking about Howard the Duck. All right. Let's see here. All right, cool. Check out our guests, please. Oh, Francis, our awesome guest co-host, of course. Where can people find your stuff?
Well, if you're interested in other podcasts that have nothing to do with anything, you can go to sinceresarcasm.net. Or maybe you like conventions as much as I do. I was at a convention recently, not Dragon Con, though. Ugh.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, you're not as cool.
I know, but if you are interested in listening about different conventions, you can go to Conventional Wisdom. That's the podcast we do over at Points of Interest Podcast.com or POIpodcast.com. That's the I can't speak. Podcast network. English is my second language, and there you go.
All right, just go watch it. Oh, hey, by the way, Krista says it was episode 79 for Howard the Duck. Dude, she's just good, man.
79.
That is impressive.
Found it before I did, and I did it. So
man, she's like an awesome spokeswoman for you.
On
you
the
have
payroll,
a new research assistant. New research assistant,
which is funny. But I say on the payroll, but technically I'm on her payroll because she's a patron, so it helps.
Oh, the Patreon. That's very nice. Well, hey, that's a great segue. I was just about to mention that.
Well,
thank you, sir. You must be a host or something. Anyway, folks, we also have a Patreon page. It's patreon.com/supergeekedup. It's right, also embedded right on our homepage of supergeekedup.com. So yeah, if you like the geeky shenanigans you do, we do. Oh, if you like what you do too, that's you. I guess support us. But
I love me. Here's some money.
Yeah. If you like what we do, though, if you had a fun time at Dragon Con, if you really liked what we did there, or if you enjoy our show here, that helps us keep doing the show and keep bringing it to more and more cons. Like coming back to Dragon Con, which we would love to do. So any amount helps, $1, $5, whatever it is. Thank you guys so much. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
Let me say this for people real quick. And just because I'm somebody that does this thing myself, I look at everybody out there that does these great things and stuff. And I tell everyone, we all spend probably, $5 to easily $25 a month on useless crap that you'll never use, or it'll just be gone in a second. You'll go to Starbucks and that's gone forever. But, if you took $25 and split that up amongst 5 different creators, if everybody did that, man, you could take a lot of people and have them be able to do what they love to do as a big, giant full-time job. So whenever you get the chance to actually put money towards something that, is an independent creator, be it, a podcaster, an artist, whatever, go ahead and do that, man. You have no idea how much that makes someone else's day when you go out and support people that do things independently. And like I said, it's a value for value thing, man. If you enjoy what you're doing, if you enjoy what other people are doing, help them out, man. And if you can financially support them, tell your friends, let them know, because that's the biggest thing, is being able to, grow your audience. And if you can't support them financially, for heaven's sake, just, talk about them to your friends. Chances are they're going to like it just like you do.
Well said, Bob. That was like the best pitch I've ever heard, man. Well said, sir. Very good.
Shabby, we're recording that, right?
Yeah. Like I'm just gonna play that every week now. That was awesome. Thanks, man. Very well said. And Victor Snyder in the chat says, I will do that. Victor actually is already one of our Patreons, so thank you, Victor. But yeah, please check out Adam's one and check out ours. And like you said, we're all pretty much indie creators on this right here on this show, so in some way or another. So
I might not have it, but just view my stuff.
He's like,
that doesn't even cost you anything. Come on, people.
Yeah.
And Tammy Anderson says self-love is not a bad thing. All right, there we go. No, it's not.
And we have returned.
A lot of self-love over here, boy. Let me tell you.
All right. Okay. Oh, by the way, folks, we just decided this today. So one of the other shows we do is called DC Action Hour. That's where we talk all the DC TV shows like Flash and Supergirl. They're on the CW. I was on a lot of the panels for that at DragonCon at the American Sci-Fi and Fantasy Media track. So we usually only do the show when they're airing, but we're going to do a special show this Sunday, a post-DragonCon show to talk about DC Action Hour, because there's a lot of new news about the shows, and also I was on a lot of panels, so I want to talk about some of the other things that people shared on the panelists in the crowd about them. So this Sunday, 8 p.m., we are going to do a special DC Action Hour. So about a month before we're going to premiere that show in October when the other shows come back. So please join us for that. We have a live chat for that too. We would love to hear from you. And we'll talk about what we want to see in the upcoming season.
So a small plug with that. Black Lightning films here in Atlanta.
Black Lightning does film in Atlanta, yeah.
And I believe that's going to premiere in January, I think.
Yes, it is. It's going to premiere after Legends, I think, wraps up. Legends up tomorrow. And we're going to have the whole Black Lightning cast on. No, I'm just kidding. I wish.
You never know.
Never know, yeah. All right, so let's see here. All right, let's go on. We got some more games that are going to come up. We're going to play Tangent Tales. We're going to make up a story on the spot. We're going to do another geeky news question. Not geeky news. We're going to talk about geeky news right now. We're going to do another geek tweet question. And we're going to do some DragonCon wrap up in just a minute. First, this is news that just came out, guys. So let's talk briefly about this. I know I didn't send it to you, but you might have just heard that Star Wars Episode 9 is looking for a new director, that Colin Trevorrow is out as the director of Episode 9, the Jurassic World and Safety Not Guaranteed director, which is the second firing in a few months for the Star Wars franchise after the Han Solo directors were canned. Any thoughts on that?
I don't think this one is as big of news as the Han Solo firings, because they were close to wrapping production. And Ron Howard stepped in to essentially add, I think they added almost a full month, almost 2 months to that shoot schedule. This one, that, as far as I know or heard, is they don't even have a script completed. And that's kind of where they differed, was he was also writing or working on the story and script. And that's where the creative differences caused the let go, from what I understood.
It does sound like he was working on a few drafts and they did not really, I guess, like them, or it wasn't fitting what they wanted.
Yeah. So I don't think it's as big as news as I think some fans are making it out to be, because they weren't in production yet. It was still very pre-production.
And here's one of the things that I don't think a lot of people realize with the day and age that we're in now, is that we have so much more access to this sort of information than we ever have in the past. So these sort of things used to happen all the time, but we didn't have the 24/7, 365 connected universe that we do right now. We didn't have the internet. We didn't have Twitter. We didn't have these big giant announcements and stuff. These things just happened and we never heard about them. Now, I will say this. From the whole perspective of everything, you have to think of this as a giant entity, or at least that I do, is that so it's all under the big giant Disney umbrella. So we have, Disney, who does all the Star Wars stuff, they do all the Marvel stuff, and at this point, I'm going to say, until they can start proving us wrong, we need to go ahead and just accept whatever they're throwing down and say that they know what they're doing right. Biggest example for this had to be Ant-Man. Ant-Man for the longest time had Edgar Wright behind it, and we were all big giant fans of Edgar Wright, and we heard Edgar Wright is going to leave this, everybody's buttholes tightened up super fast. But when that happened, we were just like, okay, Peyton Reed's coming in, we got our fingers crossed. Is this going to be any good? And sure shooting, Ant-Man was fantastic. And they went through, they rewrote, they had another director that came on almost seemingly last minute, because Edgar Wright's been working for, 8 years on this bad boy. And that turned out to be great. So it's one of those things where I think whatever they decide to do, whatever route they decide to go down, I think they're smart. And until they can start proving us wrong and saying, oh, this is not what it was supposed to be, I think they're just fine, man.
That's a great analogy, actually, because Ant-Man is actually maybe my favorite Marvel Cinematic Universe movie.
I love it so much.
Yeah.
I think the only misstep they might have had so far in anything that Marvel's done, or Disney/Marvel, has been maybe Iron Fist.
Well, and even that honestly really came down to more of a I think more of a scheduling thing and being able to do stuff at a certain pace. I think had they had more of the traditional TV schedule and didn't feel like they were locked down to a certain thing, they would have had more room and time to prep for all that kind of stuff and wouldn't have ended up what seemed to be a little bit of a rush mess. But here's the thing, even as like crummy as Iron Fist gets and the reputation of it is, it's still a lot better than a lot of the other garbage that's out there. I'll tell you that.
Agreed. And they make up for it with Defenders.
It may I think it redeemed the character a whole lot, and that happened all before we even really got the feedback on it. So I think they kind of learned as they went along there, which is not always something that you want to do, but as long as they do eventually learn, I think that's a good thing.
Yeah,
Francis, you want to jump in here?
I have very little opinion on this because whenever I watch a film that Disney makes, whether it's Marvel or Star Wars, I don't think about who's directing it. I don't think about who's behind the scenes. I just sit back and enjoy. So for me, I don't think about that stuff. So I'm perfectly content knowing that if they feel that this is the right move to make, then whatever they decide to do in the future.
Well, that's a good point. Probably a lot of people they don't really care that much. It's more, being a filmmaker, I pay more attention to that kind of stuff.
We have to talk about these things because they're important.
I guess. It's like
I feel though that there should be more fans like that though. There's too many fans that take it to the nth degree because they feel they have a platform with the 365 media that we all are tied into. And they feel that one voice that has nothing to do with any studios or anything like that is going to somehow make somebody change their mind about casting, directing, writing. What? You have that person writing? You're going to listen to me right now. No,
and they're all the more happy to do it because it's going to be able to get them clicks for their websites and revenue from their ads. That's all this is, people. Don't think that it's anything else other than that. That's why I don't like with Here Movie Podcast, we don't have a big thing where we upgrade or we, post stories. And because I was just like, what point is that? A, I don't serve ads. And B, it's just like, who cares? Just like it when it comes out, man.
Yeah.
All right. In the chat, Maria Duran says, yes, agreed. Love Defenders. I want more. And then Krista says, set Iron Fist on fire. The worst. What crack are you white boys smoking?
The best of all of the cracks.
All right. She's a big fan. We'll be sure to do just Iron Fist themed improv games at Super Geeked Up at DragonCon, Christopher.
Did you know that he was a defender of Kunlun? Did you know that? But did you?
I don't think he mentions it at all in either series.
The Protector. The immortal Iron Fist. Don't know if you heard about it.
All right. Let's talk DragonCon. So Martin, Adam, and I were all there. I think we all had an awesome time.
Yeah. I awesome I got sick.
Right. Got the con crud. It's my first time there.
The con crud, yeah.
Yeah. So first off, Super Geeked Up, like I mentioned earlier, seriously, man, it was amazing. It was our first time doing it there. So I had no idea how many people would show up. But the room was packed and there was all these people they had to turn away because the room was too full.
Wow. Standing room only.
Yeah, it was that's the best turnout I think we've ever had at a con. So thank you, DragonCon, man, for coming out and trying a new show like this and giving us your love. Yeah, we really appreciate it.
Maybe next year a bigger room.
I honestly believe next year bigger room. I don't think there's almost any guess about that happening.
What's the Hall H equivalent over DragonCon?
We're not going to that equivalent.
That was a little big. That'd be over there in the Marriott. That's a bit.
Marriott atrium.
Baby steps, damn it.
Oh, you never know.
Yeah. No, but I think they even the guys running, they were talking about bigger rooms.
We'll get you in the Crystal Ball. Honestly, the Crystal Ball room would be
in the Hyatt.
It's close. No, that's still Hilton.
Yeah. Right. The one in the Hyatt would be pretty nice too, though. The Centennial 4 or 5, whatever that one is.
Yeah.
All right. So the people watching have no idea what we're talking about. They don't know DragonCon.
You can tell that me and Adam have been many years.
Yeah. What is that? Is that like a number? Is that like 100? What is it? I'm confused. I'm tuning out.
Anyway, yes, a bigger room would be awesome. But thank you guys for coming out. The crowd was fantastic. everybody was yelling out suggestions and ideas, and
stuff. It was great.
And the volunteers were fucking awesome. And Mikey, Mason, and Adam were fantastic, super funny guests. So all around, fantastic time. Like I said, we will put the video up on our page for any of those of you who haven't seen it yet. It's a lot of fun. And for me, just thank you to everybody. Like all the other panels, I had a great time too. And Dragon Con people are awesome. You guys, you want to share any other highlights that you had from the con? And while you do that, I'm going to share a few cosplay pics that I really enjoyed taking and getting there. So Martin, any highlights you want to talk about?
Yeah, so as crazy as this is going to sound, it became almost a Michael Roker convention for me. I went to all 3 of his panels. So it was 2 of them were solo, one was with Guardians of the Galaxy, with Karen Gillian, Sean Gunn, and Michael Rosenbaum. But me and my friend were going over to say hey after his first panel and how great the panel was. And he realized she had on a Stone in the Sword in the Stone shirt, but in the theme of Thor, trying to pick up the hammer. And someone's like, oh, that's an awesome shirt. And he said, hey, I'll make that better for you. And just signs her t-shirt. And I'm wearing a Stranger Things t-shirt in the style of the Dark Phoenix X-Men cover. And he's like, here, I'll make your shirt special too. And signs my t-shirt without me. And then I'm like, well, damn it. Now I've got to go change my t-shirt because I can't wear this again. I've got to get this framed. So it just turned into a back and forth with Michael Roker the entire convention almost. So it was probably one of the coolest celebrity interactions that I've had at a convention in regards to that. That's
awesome. That's super cool, man. What a great experience. By the way, what I showed so far was Cindy from Final Fantasy 15, and that's Luna Lovegood. My favorite thing about Luna Lovegood is her lion hat she wears in the movies, and that's the first cosplay I've ever seen of it. I love this cosplay so much.
That's the beauty of Dragon Con. You'll see some random cosplay that no one would ever think of. I was talking about going as David S. Pumpkins from Saturday Night Live sketch, and I go and see 3 of them at Dragon Con. I'm like, no, this was supposed to be me.
Here's something from your Overwatch fans. So very well done cosplay. Adam, but any highlights for you?
I forget which panel it was before I was doing it, but I sat down and I got like a magnificently overpriced Papa John's pizza and was sitting over there in the corner. And by magnificently overpriced, I mean $25, kids.
Yeah, they're terrible.
That's about right. $6 for a slice.
But when you're hungry, you just don't give a damn. So I was sitting over there in the corner and stuff, and then of course John Barrowman comes in and goes, "Ooh, I want a slice of pizza," and I'm just like, "For reals, I'll give you one if you want it." And he's like, "No, I'll be full." And I'm just like, "What the fuck? You'll be full?" Yeah, heaven forbid. He's like, you have food in your stomach, Mr. Fancy Actor, man. Get your handsome ass over to your panel and be gone with you.
Wait, you said John Barrowman?
Yeah.
He really came up to you and asked that?
Yeah, he walked in kind of a back door there, and we were kind of sitting around eating some pizza and stuff, and he was just like, "Hey, pizza boy, I'd like a slice of that." And we're just like, "If you for real want one, you got one, man. Here you go." He's like, "Oh no, I can't eat that. I'll be full."
That's how he tends to work. That's a pretty spot on impression, though.
I'll do what I can. But that was pretty good. That was a fun time.
He was supposed to have an amazing karaoke night too on one of the nights. I came here at the Hard Rock Cafe just down the street.
They've been hiding everything, man. Remember when they had when karaoke used to just be at the Hilton there, and it was down at the room? Why can't we just continue to do that? We had to redo everything, and it all like I sound like an old man here, but all the fancy went away. I don't like it, man. It's like just get it down to the old timey stuff, and I don't know where the hell anything's at. Where's all the cool parties at?
Let me share some chat things here in the chat. So first off, Krista says, "Who bought the pizza Portrais?" And Adam did not.
Okay, she bought the pizza. Look, whatever. Look, I'm trying to put together a narrative. You don't have to shit on my story.
And she also says, "And Adam did not offer the pizza. I did. He did say the comment about being full. That she verifies."
Oh. Can we just knock her from the chat?
Yeah, like ban her.
If you're going to be telling truths about what actually happened, Jesus.
Krista was asking who the pictures were. Well, here's the picture just for you, Krista. Since you love Iron Fist so much, there's an Iron Fist.
I saw these guys, man. These guys are great.
You know
There
what?
was a few excellent Iron Fists actually. Like I was surprised with how many the reaction the show got, and for how many actually still went out and cosplayed them.
Right?
Yeah, fair play to those guys.
It's funny. I walked up to these guys right before I took the picture, and they said that they got trending on Reddit. They didn't post it, but somebody else did. And then somebody came up to us seconds later and says, "Did I see you on Reddit?" And they're like, "Yeah."
Damn. Yeah, because I saw these guys walking down at the Hilton or no, the Hyatt rather, and they were coming down, and I was just like, "Oh shoot, Iron Fist, Misty Knight," and then I didn't even see Colin Wing in the background. Then she came in, I'm like, "Oh shit, they got all." I was amazed, dude. I was stoked.
And then this is one of my absolute favorites, which is the Fresh Prince and Peg Bundy.
Oh man, that's fantastic.
There was a fantastic Independence Day group. I don't know if you guys saw this on Sunday. I think it was the same guy who did this, Will Smith. Did Will Smith dragging an alien with the cigar, and then someone as Jeff Goldblum, someone as Brett Spiner, and I think Bill Pullman as well. And they were all in the jumpsuits. The guy doing Brett Spiner was just like the creepy Area 51 scientist. It was fantastic.
Dude.
That's awesome. In the chat, Maria said, I love Michael Rooker. Met him at WizardCon when he decided to interview my 4-year-old nephew who was sitting on my lap, and now she says she's going to take her nephew everywhere with her.
Kids tend to get all sorts of swag at conventions. Let's just be honest.
So exploit your children today. Dragon Con, Labor Day weekend, Atlanta, Georgia.
We had a mother tell us that the same exact thing while in line to talk to Michael Rooker. You got to take your kids everywhere. They'll give you all free things. They don't want to charge these kids for anything. That's how we got all these free stuff. And I was like, well,
I'm eBaying the hell out of shit after this, boy.
Lister's mate said about the Fresh Prince, he says, I should have done the Carlton with him. I really should have. I wish I'd thought about that.
Look at that. You got it down, man.
Oh, yeah, man. It's like the only dance I could do.
It's the standard white people dance. We all know this. It's that in the simulated boxing dance. We're all just going to.
Oh, sure.
Just got a shadow box and nothing.
All right. Eddie, so I guess for me, besides the, Super Geeked Up, I went to see Kevin Sorbo, who I love Kevin Sorbo because he's Hercules. But you know what? He was like my favorite panel I went to because he's just like such a cool guy. He was funny. He was warm. He was like down to earth, appreciative of the fans. And like, you don't always get that, unfortunately, with celebs. But
I thought he would be actually taller. Like out of all the celebrities there, he's the only one I was like, I would have thought you would have been at least 4 or 5 inches taller than what you are. Hercules.
Is that what you told him?
Huh?
Is that what you went up and told him?
No, I didn't go up and tell him that, but from afar, I was like, why aren't you taller?
What's up, midget? How's it going?
Yeah, that was pretty much, I should have did that. Stood on his table.
Stood on his table, tossed him around a little bit, nuggied him, whatever.
Hercules, who's that? Not you.
Oh, God, that's terrible.
And I'll say this, anyone that goes to Dragon Con, just save all your drinking and drugs until Saturday. Just that's what I did. It was good.
And I went to one of the Star Trek Next Generation panels. Actually, shout out to my new friends I met there, Olga and Christopher, who actually they saw my Top Gun Star Wars shirt and they started talking to me, and then they actually let me cut in line with them because I never would have got in otherwise. And then they came to Super Geeked Up and they volunteered too, which is awesome. So they're great. But anyway, I after the panel, I was just sitting outside looking at the app to see where I was going, and the whole cast of Next Gen just walked right by me. It was so
Did you put your hand up for high fives?
No, you know what? Because first it was just Michael Dorn who plays Worf. He was out. I didn't see the rest because they were further behind him, and he looked like kind of like on the panel. He was actually kind of dour as well, but he looked like so serious, and in thought I was like, oh, this guy's not going to say hello to me or give me a high five if I try to. He's my favorite character in it too, but he just didn't look like he was in the mood for it.
But I'll tell you this much: Gates McFadden was just like, "What's up?" I'm like, wow, you wouldn't think of it coming from you, lady, but sure enough, she's
yeah. Marina Sirtis did that on the panel. That I would expect from her actually if she did that.
That's true.
The cool thing about them that one year they did, this would have been like 4 years ago. They hit her and Jonathan Frakes did a Gargoyles panel, like spur of the moment, last minute, 10 a.m. on Sunday. Let's go do a Gargoyles panel, and it was amazing.
Love some gargoyles, boy.
Were they in Gargoyles?
Yeah, he played Xanatos, and she was Demona.
Oh shit, that's right. Oh, that's really cool.
In fact,
that's awesome.
half of the next gen cast is voice cast of Gargoyles.
Oh my god, I love that show.
The only one they didn't get was, I think, Patrick Stewart. I feel like they got literally everybody else on that show, and the only reason they didn't get him was because of scheduling.
Oh.
That's really cool.
Schedule is what I call too much money.
I love Gargoyles. Brent Spiner, by the way, as many people know, does the most spot on Patrick Stewart impersonation, which he did at Dragon Con. He does it at every con.
Wow.
Cool. And then last thing I'll say is there was a Heroes, Villains, and Humanity game show, which I judge. It was Cards Against Humanity, but with like a superhero and villain team. And oh my god, dude, it was like the craziest fucking shit ever. Like, it was late at night on Sunday. It was the last thing, and those fans were awesome. They were just going nuts, bribing the judges with like pizza and beer, and it was just like they were.
Wait a minute. What panel is this, and how can I get involved?
Yeah, I'll hook you up next time, man. Actually, we could have used another judge. Yeah, you'll have to do it. All right, cool. So, any last thoughts about Dragon Con?
If you haven't been, I think we're saying the same thing.
Yes.
Do you want to finish the thought? If you haven't been,
never go there because it's too many people. So stay the hell out.
Exactly. 80,000 people this year.
Yeah, new record over 80,000.
Or do the opposite we just said.
Do come.
Totally go.
Yeah.
We say don't come, but we actually, honest to goodness, it's a good time. And to me, it's just like it's nerd summer camp. You go there for a good, 4 days and stuff. You get your crazies out and everything, and you have a hell of a good time. You meet a lot of cool, interesting people, and it's just a blast to do it. So if you can, absolutely go to Dragon Con Labor Day week in Atlanta, Georgia, for sure.
Come see our Southern hospitality. Nerd style.
You know what? I will say, actually, pretty much every restaurant I went to, they were just like awesome service. Like, you guys know how to do it right down there.
Well, it's also the craziest weekend in the city anyways. Like, there's no other weekend like Labor Day in Atlanta.
There's so much garbage going on. It's ridiculous.
Oh, yeah. Multiple football games and all the other stuff going on. Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, I will tell you, folks, I've been to a lot of cons, and I've heard lots of good things about Dragon Con, and it lives up to all the hype, so I definitely recommend.
I mean, me and my buddy Nate have been telling you since we met you, Jeff, you need to come down to Dragon Con, and you finally came. So props.
Yeah, but then Nate refused to go. So that was
when you birth a new human, well, he didn't do it. His wife did it, but
I have to say, what a medical science victory.
Keep that on the down low. We're trying to keep that on the down low.
I saw Junior. We all know what's up.
All right, folks, there you go. That was our time at Dragon Con. Thanks again to everybody who came to any of the stuff we were doing. If you came and said hi, thank you very much. And if you're watching now, you guys rock. Thank you. All right. So, by the way, in the chat, Krista had said, "Gargoyles, holy fuck, that is so fucking awesome." She's using a lot of caps tonight, by the way, in the chat. Just so she's very excited.
I say that knowing she doesn't drink at all. So.
All right. Oh, I don't either. Hey, Krista, you and I can have good, clean, geeky fun together then.
I, however, am we're dipping into.
Oh, hello.
And Lanier in the chat says Gargoyles also had Kate Mulgrew, Nichelle Nichols, and Avery Brooks. Wow, a lot of other Star Trek series as well. Holy shit. All right, time for Geek Tweet number 2, and then we're going to play our last game of the night. Geek Tweet number 2 question is, what fictional character would be the best stand-up comic? Because Adam does some stand-up comedian. That's why I worked this one in. He's very funny. So, Adam, actually, what do you think? What fictional character would be a great stand-up comic?
This is simple. This is a simple one because he's practically doing it every issue himself. And that's Spider-Man. Peter Parker would be an amazing stand-up. He's constantly quipping. He's constantly going after people. Even in the midst of, doom and danger, he's always on his feet. He's always improvising. He's going back and forth, whether it's making fun of Doc Ock's hair or whatever situation's going on right now. He's always got a funny little quip up his sleeve. I think anyone could do stand-up in the world of comic books and stuff. Got to be Spider-Man.
Great choice. That's why he was my favorite hero when I was a kid, man, because he was so funny. He would always have those quips when he was fighting the villains.
So good.
In the chat, Victor Snyder says Q from Next Generation would be a good stand-up comic.
Q would be like kind of almost like a more energetic Stephen Wright.
Nice.
Yeah.
What do you think, Martin?
I would have to say a toss-up, and they kind of did it in the animated series anyways, but Morph from X-Men, the animated series.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Or Deadpool.
Yeah,
Well,
of course.
But
Deadpool,
Deadpool would be one of those comedians that would be either insult / very non sequitur. So it would be all over the place, and trying to figure out where the next joke is would be insane.
Well, see, my choice, I think, is very similar. I'm just going the female version. I'm going Harley Quinn, but I also feel like she would be just so crazy and non sequitur, like you said. It was just.
She's got the hammer, man. You know she's just going to do Gallagher.
Hammer, that's
but
right.
with someone's head.
Right.
You got to have a twist on it, right?
Yeah. Make it her own.
In the chat, Krista wants to know, I wonder if Portrais is wearing Spider-Man underoos right now.
Not under ruse, but, you know.
I did when I was a kid. I had underoos.
Thank you for telling us.
Well, I don't know. She brought it up. Come on.
Listen, I'm not a priest. You don't need to confess these things to me.
You're not going to absolve us?
But I want to.
15 Hail Marys and you'll be good to go for wearing the Spider-Man undies. I don't know. Whatever.
All right, Francis, what's your choice?
Well, this was a hard question to answer. I would have to say, based off of a film that really hasn't seen the light of day except on the internet, called the Star Wars Christmas Special. I would have to say Chewbacca must have been dropping them jokes left and right. Come on now, he would.
Oh, I can totally relate to that guy. Oh, it's true. It's true what they say. He's right. He is so right.
I'd have to pick Chewbacca.
Oh, that Chewbacca slays me.
In the chat, Listener's Mate says the doctor from Voyager would be a good comedian. He'd make bad, dry medical humor.
Oh my gosh, yes. And in fact, our own Fear Movie podcast, Bruce Leslie, and the reason that had to become a pseudonym for him was because as a doctor, he did do some stand-up in our area. And listen, if you are of the medical profession, don't do stand-up under your real name. Do just pseudonym rather. Yeah, man, totally. Yeah. Can you tell it's already starting to kick in?
Also in the chat, Krista says, is it that odd to just say the Joker or the comedian? No, those are... Those both
There's
work.
too much chaos going on. You don't want that. It's
I do feel Joker would just kill the whole audience at the end, but...
Well, they'd all be forced to laugh.
Yeah.
Right, he would just pump the gas in. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, time for our last geeky game of the night. This is called Tangent Tales. Francis, you want to explain how this one works?
Yes, I will intro a story in which our fine guests here will continue until the end. We'll pass it off to each other one by one until someone comes up with a nice little conclusion to my little intro here. And in this case, this one I actually just thought up right before the show because of something that came up on, I think it was on Twitter. I think Twitter brought this up. So I scrapped my last story. I'm going to bring this one. I apologize. It does have a little bit of setup, so please bear with me.
I thought you were going to say a little bit of language, like, oh no, we never say fuck on this show.
It's just got the setup.
Francis is just going to toss it to one of you guys after, and then you continue it for a little bit, and then you toss it to one of us. Basically, just toss it to someone new each time, okay?
So we're spinning a tale.
Yeah, he's going to start the tale, but then you can do whatever you fucking want with it, man. You can go in any crazy direction you want. You can bring in other people, characters, all that stuff.
Yeah, you don't have to follow my little story here, but I'm going to get started here. Here we go. The year is 2525. Lara Croft, an intrepid explorer, has finally found the ruins of an ancient city, heralded as the keeper of an ancient power. Some thought the once proud city was renamed for its love of skateboarding, or maybe for the nocturnal birds of prey that called these streets home. As Lara contemplated these names, Owl City or the City of Ollie, she climbed atop a stone ledge to see the silhouettes of the two rulers of this long-gone land. Raising her torch, she saw the stone-carved faces of Oliver Queen and Felicity Smoke. It was the Awlicity. And as she threw her torch off the precipice and into the gaping hole below, the eyes of the still active followers found her and chanted, and I'll give this off to Martin.
One of us, one of us, one of us, was the chant that rang through the evening, as the fans truly believed they were one with Olicity. Say it again. Olicity. Yeah. But which confused Lara Croft, as they were all wearing wings, and as people realized that Oliver Queen and Felicity Smoke do not have wings. Over to Adam.
Seeing this, she thought, surely this can't be. How is this possible that people with wings actually, worship these people? So she went down to them and asked them, excuse me, sir, why do all of you have these crazy wings? It doesn't seem to make any sense to me. Jeff?
And he replied, because we also worship Hawkman and Hawkgirl, two of the worst characters to ever appear on a DCCW show. You can see our taste is so horrible because we also worship Olicity, the worst romance that's ever been on a DCCW show. And Lara Croft, upon hearing this, decided they were right. These people are just total idiots. And she started shooting at them with her twin pistols because she decided they did not deserve to live. And then, Francis.
And then as she walked over the bloody, lifeless corpses, one by one, watching as their eyes slowly close, that this was all a lie, that truly what gave them wings were the Red Bull cans in their hands.
The end?
I think that's the end.
All right.
If you ever know that you're my hero. That's the song that goes over the credits. You're everything.
Whoa, geez, that guy. See, I actually, you didn't have to kill them, Francis. I was just because they could have missed.
Oh.
Not that Laura misses very often, actually, but
it took a turn. It took a turn.
I was kind of, but all right, we went the very dark route.
And we're like, hey, everything's happy. How about a Holocaust for the society? Let's kill all of these people now.
All right. Well, if Francis knows, if he brings up Olicity, I'm not going to end it well.
No.
I think we should really be blaming Red Bull for giving them wings in the first place.
This is true.
Right. I'm glad Red Bull is still around 500 years in the future.
The formula has changed to where it's actually given wings.
Exactly.
Yes. I am thrilled that Lara Croft's still around, though, since she's my favorite video game character. That's great that she survives 500 years in pop culture.
Question was she the pixelated version or was she like the Angelina Jolie version? There's so many versions.
I like to think she's a pixelated Angelina
Me
Jolie.
too.
Where, look, I don't want to make out all the sexy bits. Just make me, I like to have my imagination work for me.
So let me see the polygons.
Ooh, there's about 14 polygons in that looking one.
In the chat, Maria Duran says, whoa, we need a Red Bull sponsorship. That'd be awesome. I'm sure they'll really be thrilled to know that the Red Bull, we just killed all the people who drink it.
Red Bull, put a bullet in the head of everyone who worships you. Red Bull.
It was a short-lived sponsorship. Short-lived.
Oh, man. We get in so much trouble for these games if we had sponsors. We just need good humor sponsors. That's what we need. All right.
Humor bar?
Yeah, there you go. Very good. Good choice.
It's as nuts as they are.
All right. Speaking of Olicity and Oliver Queen and shows like Arrow, again, folks, this Sunday we're doing a special DC Action Hour to talk about new casting, new other news, things we talked about Dragon Con, about the DC panels. So please join us 8 p.m. Eastern time. We love hearing from you in the chat. There's actually a lot of at Dragon Con, a lot of different ideas from what we usually talk about, Francis, on the show. So I was really glad to see that. It was cool to see different ideas. And of course, Monday night, we're doing our Dungeons and Dragons RPG show, 8 p.m. Eastern as well. All right. Let's, before we go though, let's go back over to Adam. Where can folks catch your shows again?
If you just go to Hear Movie Podcast at hearmoviepodcast.com, there you'll find new reviews on either something comic book movie or comic book television related every single week. Myself, Bruce Leslie, and Sean Keenan put in for a hell of a time. We review these things, relate them back to the comic books, and do what no other podcast out there on the planet does. We relate every single comic book movie back to Sylvester Stallone. That's not a joke.
Hey, yo.
That is a real thing. A one-to-one connection to Sylvester Stallone every single time. So hearmoviepodcast.com for that. Preacher Podcast, like I said, we have one more episode in the season. So definitely get on that. If you're a fan of Preacher, we'd love to have you over there. And the Film Find at thefilmfind.com. New release reviews every single week, pretty much. And, of course, Nerd Talk Now at nerdtalknow.com. Saturday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, talking all things nerdy. You can call in and say what you want, man. So it's a fun time.
Sweet. In the chat, Krista says, I had to take down a centerfold of a polygon Lara Croft on my floor when I was a RA. And I asked her, was it a naked Lara? She says, yes, it was.
Oh, yeah, we all found Dim magazine.
Well, Krista, hopefully you still have it. And can you please send it to me? I would love that. I'll put it right behind me next to the Back to the Future and Star Wars posters.
Oh, no.
Everybody can see it every week. All right, Martin, where can people check out your shows?
You can check our shows out at Red Raccoon Studios YouTube channel, as well as Abigail the Series YouTube channel. And then if you're looking for some comedy, that will be Carol Kaboya's YouTube channel to find Bethany the Series. We also did a really cool behind the scenes or making of documentary that is definitely worth a watch.
Sweet. Awesome.
And then you always find me on Twitter at RedMartin11.
Red Martin.
Great. Francis.
You can find me on Twitter at AKA the other guy. You can find all my stuff. I'm not really funny, but you can listen to me anyway at sinceresarcasm.net. I'm right over there. But a bunch of my podcasts that I do is also on this wonderful network called the Points of Interest Podcast Network at poipodcast.com.
I think you're hilarious, sir. Okay, so now in the chat, people are talking about hashtag pixel ticks, and Krista saying, oh, God, save me. Right. Well, Krista, you brought it up.
Sounds like she's just digging her own self there.
All right, folks. Of course, you can find us at Super Geeked Up at supergeekedup.com is where you can find all the shows we do, including my superhero comedy series, Super Knocked Up, which you can also find on Amazon for free. Thank you very much to Adam and Martin for being awesome and super funny guests. Thank you guys, and thank you, Adam, for being part of Super Geeked Up at Dragon Con, for Martin for shooting the video of it. Really appreciate it. Thank you, Francis, for not being there. I'm just kidding, man.
Hey, no problem. I'll do it again next year.
You could change his train of thought there.
Yeah. All right, folks. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you, everybody, for coming to Dragon Con and seeing us. We really appreciate it. Hope you see some of you maybe Sunday or Monday for other shows. If not, we'll see you next Wednesday at 11 p.m. Eastern for some more geeky shenanigans. Until then, stay geeky, everybody.